Hi guys, and welcome back to Brunch Business with Yoli and Garry. And once again, we haven't moved very far this week, but we're still down the south coast, and we're still continuing with questions are the answer. And this week we're taking it from a little bit of a different vein. Would you like to explain where we're coming from?
So as a leader, and you've got an issue, a challenge that has arisen. Something's gone wrong, or there's a problem arose, and you want to ask those questions to get to a positive result. So we've come up with 5 that we thought that would be great questions.
It could even be too that there's a problem
with the people
in the organisation that's totally under the covers.
Yes.
And questions like these can often bring it out.
Yeah,
and solve it for everyone.
Exactly. So the first question I think would be, or we thought would be great, was what exactly is the problem we're trying to solve? So we often talk about the 80-20 rule.
Yep.
So if you work on 80% of your time is on solving the problem, and 20% of the time is on the actual problem. So work on that first. Get the 20% of the time over and done with. So what exactly is, and keep it really finite. Don't elaborate. Just the problem is that we can't get the food out to the customers
in a satisfactory time
frame. So something like that. So that's your problem. Bang, over and done with. You've asked the question.
But you've also sometimes got to look at that. Let's just use that same scenario you just used then. So the time that the food is taking to get to the customer from the
kitchen
the prep to the table is too long. That might not be what the problem is. That could be the scenario of what is actually occurring and what is causing the customer dissatisfaction. But the problem could be something behind that.
That's right.
In the system that you're operating.
So that's the big problem, so that you can nut it down and go backwards, yes, and backwards and backwards. And so you can be asking further questions. So what do you think that's happening?
Yep.
You know, so you can nut it right down. So you give yourself the 20% of the time on finding out the exact problem.
Yep.
So the
More questions.
Yeah, so one of the other questions we thought, not the next question, but, more questions. There's always questions. What might the positive and negative implications be?
Yeah, when you're coming up with a project or a change of a system in an organisation, make sure you look at both sides of the fence of what you're actually implementing. It's going to have, you're obviously targeting for the positive, but you've got to look at what the negative could be as well. So, and asking the rest of the team that question.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go with the food not getting to the table quick enough. The negative implications of that would be that if we don't resolve this problem, we're going to lose customers.
Yeah.
So there's a simple way of looking at that, I guess.
Yes, most definitely.
So if it's a project...
But if it's a project, you're going to say, okay, so it's a change in the building, or the way in which you operate a system through a building.
Yeah.
You're going to have to say, well, these are all the advantages, and we all look for the glitter, I suppose, which are the advantages of making the change. But make sure that along the way that there will be some form of negative.
There'll be an impact on some people, whatever you change.
Yep.
So you've got to be able to
identify that.
Yeah, alleviate the negative impact that it's going to have, and how can you do that? And so another question that we decided on was, how can we solve this challenge so it won't occur again? So you want to be able to repeat the resolution over and over again.
Or make sure that the problem
never happens again.
The issue is totally dealt with and
it won't happen again.
So I suppose that comes down to making sure you do see the problem, not the blockage of that's in front of you.
So how can we solve this challenge so it won't occur again? I just think that's a great one, because you need to know that it won't. Oh my God, okay, so we fixed it this time. So have you done enough work in the background to make sure that it won't happen again?
Yeah.
So the next question, Garry, that you came up with, who would be the best people to work on this challenge?
Yeah.
Now that's a good question.
Yeah. So putting that to the team and getting them getting the collaboration.
Get the
of
right
team.
people on the job.
But it's also getting that collaboration within
That's
the team,
right.
so everyone is satisfied with what is going to move forward in the operation, rather than taking that sole decision.
That's right. And if you've got a great cohesive team, they will say, "Hey, Gary's best for this job. There's no way I can do it." Like, I know that if I want the technical things to happen, I just turn to Gary. I know that that's not my thing. Gary does that, all that sort of stuff. So being confident enough in your team to be able to give the right people the jobs, the roles that need to get the job done. And so asking that, who would be the best people to work on this challenge? So that's number 4. Number 5, Gary, we both said this, we always say, what lessons? What lessons can we learn from this experience?
And that's right, because everything should be a learning, no matter what the situation is. And you can be doing the same repetitive thing sometimes and have something come up that will actually give you the learning. It could change your whole system, and it's amazing.
I just love it when you hear people talk and you know they're being observant. They're the observer watching. They're doing the job and they're observing what's not working all the time, and then they change it, and they're observing again what they've learned from the experience. Hey, now that I've changed that, look what's happening. This is great. What have I learned from that? I learned that I waited too long to change the process, say, for instance. So asking questions, like we said, like Gary said at the beginning, questions are the answer. Always are. Ask the questions and don't be afraid to give the answers.
Anyway, guys, we're going to leave the chairs here for a little while, and we're just going to go for a stroll along the beach. So you keep smiling, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye.